Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I am showing you my lightened up shepherd's pie. This came out to 8 points for 1/4 of this entire dish. So to get these started off, I have already pre-washed and scrubbed down my carrots. So here I am going to be dicing these up into equal sized pieces. So this recipe is so easy. There's not a lot of chopping or anything to do. It's pretty much just the carrots. Normally I would do probably about like a half a chopped onion, but because Eric doesn't like onions, I'm using dehydrated onions. So in a large pan, I am spraying this down with some coconut oil spray, and then I'm going to be adding my diced carrots to this. To the diced carrots, I am adding 1 tablespoon of this minced garlic. Eric and I both really love garlic, so 1 tablespoon was perfect for this. I got that giant container at Costco. Then I'm going to be adding 2 tablespoons of chopped onion. I believe that said it came out to like a half an onion on the back. And Eric does not like onions, but he likes onion flavor. So this is perfect for this. You don't have that texture of onion or anything like that, and it gives it so much flavor. Here I'm trying to like show you the back and my camera's not focusing. So once that's all in, I'm just going to give this a nice mix, and I will be cooking this down until the carrots are fork tender. To the carrot mixture, I will be adding a total of 12 tablespoons of water. I did this in increments just because I didn't want to add too much, but it does help kind of like steam those carrots, and that way you don't have to add any extra oil. The water does the job for you. In another pan, I am going to be doing Trader Joe's frozen mashed potatoes. This is such like a cheat for me, and I freaking love them. They're pretty low in points. I am going to be counting out 48 pieces for this. It didn't let me do it in grams or weigh it out in my app, so I counted out 48. I always season my potatoes, so I'm just going to be seasoning these up with some garlic powder, some pink salt, and some pepper. I forgot to add the water to the mashed potatoes, but I do end up adding 3/4 of a cup to this. I can usually eyeball it by the consistency. Now that my carrots are all done, I just poke it with a fork, make sure that the fork goes through nice and easy. I give it a try, and these are all good to go. So now I am going to be adding my entire package of 99% fat-free ground turkey. This is 16 ounces. Once my ground turkey is added, I am going to be cooking this until it is all the way cooked through, and then I will be adding my seasonings and everything else to this pan. This side dish for this dinner is just going to be some sauteed garlic green beans. So in a separate pan, I am just adding the entire package of green beans. And then once they're in there, I am just going to be peeling those little ends off. And I'm also going to be adding a 1/4 cup of water to these and then adding a lid. I don't add the seasonings or garlic until the end. They do take quite a long time to cook, so I don't want the garlic or seasonings to burn. For the green beans, I am going to be spraying them with a little bit of coconut oil spray. So the turkey is all cooked through. Now I'm going to be adding my seasonings. I will be doing a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, a 1/2 teaspoon of pink salt, 1 teaspoon of thyme, and 1 teaspoon of rosemary. Once I have all my seasonings mixed in, I'm going to be adding 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. And once your tomato paste is nice and combined, then you're going to be adding your flour. So here I show that I did 3. I actually end up doing 4 tablespoons of this, so you can add all 4 right now. And this is so that we can create kind of like a roux once the beef stock is added. Here is where I'm going to be adding this entire container of Swanson's low sodium beef broth. I started out with just half and then I did 3/4. I actually end up doing the whole thing with the 4 tablespoons of flour. So just go ahead and add the entire container at this point and then let it come to a simmer. Now that I have the turkey mixture pretty much all done, I am going to be adding my pre-rinsed and pre-drained corn. I did 155 grams of this. And then here I have 3/4 of a cup of frozen sweet peas, and I'm just going to mix everything until nice and combined yet again. Now I'm going to be spraying my 9x13 Pyrex with some coconut oil spray. I just do this for a little added extra assurance. And then I'm going to be adding this entire pan full of the turkey mixture into the bottom of my Pyrex. Once I have that mixture in there, I am just going to be spreading this out all nice and evenly, and then we will be adding the potatoes to the top of this. Now I'm going to be adding all of my mashed potatoes to the top of that beef mixture, and again, I will be spreading this portion out nice and evenly on the top. This part isn't super necessary, but here I'm just running a fork on the top of those mashed potatoes. That way when it bakes in the oven, it kind of crisps up on the top and gives it like a nice texture more for presentation than anything. And then I will be baking this at 400 degrees for 25 minutes. To finish up my green beans, because they are pretty much done cooking, I am going to be adding about a tablespoon of garlic, some pepper, and some salt until that garlic is done cooking. Then these will be all finished, and my shepherd's pie is in the oven baking now. So that way everything is nice and hot and ready to go at the same time. I'm taking my shepherd's pie out of the oven right about 5 minutes before it's done cooking. I'm going to be adding 56 grams of fat-free shredded cheese to the top. The last time I did this, I think I did like a full cup and it didn't change the points. But I think next time what I'll do is add the fat-free cheese under the mashed potatoes, so on top of the beef mixture. That sounded really good, and I think it'll melt a little better. If you've ever cooked with fat-free cheese before, you know that it kind of has a hard time melting. So I add a little bit of cooking spray that usually helps it melt better. This time it did not, so I don't even know if it's worth it. But what's potatoes without butter? So here I am adding some butter spray for 0 points. Then I'm just going to be putting this back in the oven for the remainder, like 5-6 minutes that it had left. That way the cheese kind of melts, which mine didn't really, but you know what I mean. Now that my shepherd's pie is all done, it's out of the oven, it's still really hot, I just have it on a trivet. I am going to be splitting this into fourths, and then I actually end up splitting it into eighths because I didn't know how much I wanted, but I did end up eating like a full fourth. So 1/4 of this is only 8 points, and you get, I'm telling you, it is so good. This is one of my favorite recipes, and I'm surprised I don't make it more often. And that's why I split it into eighths. It was easier to transfer out of the dish. I knew I was hungry. So on each of our plates, I am adding 1/4 of this dish. Like I said, Eric ended up having more. And then I pair it with that side of green beans. So there you guys have it. This is definitely a recipe that you and your family will love, and I'm sure kids will love it too. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.